colleagues and friends. After this one, I will try to concentrate my attention on that point, which is 3' of mRNA. Several years ago, we published a review where we formulate several questions in mRNA processing in mitochondria of trypanosomes, which can be resolved with the existence of RNA proteins with particular specificity. And 2 years before that, we identified 40 PTR proteins, pentatripeptide repeat proteins, which are RNA binding proteins, and with unknown function. Today, I will talk about 3 fascinating stories, such as switches, blocks, and triggers. We'll start from the stability switching phenomenon, which we identified when we discovered polymerase several years ago. RNA, pre-edited mRNA in mitochondria have a short A tail. Edited mRNA exists in 2 populations, with short A tail and long tail. Knockdown of polymerase eliminates all types of tails, but remarkably, pre-edited mRNA remains stable, and edited mRNA at the same time downregulated. What it means that that poly tail plays different roles for stability of mRNA on different stages of editing. In other words, that poly tail changes stability when RNA undergoing editing. What about blocks? Ruslan already introduced the 3', 5' processor, and you see a familiar picture of his talk. But the only difference is this is not a guide RNA, not a small RNA. This is mRNA. It means that when we knock down DSS1, which is a key enzyme of 3', 5' processor, we have accumulation of precursor mRNA. This DSS1 has to stop very precisely before addition of A tail. But we cannot apply the antisense transcription mechanism because of very few small RNAs mapped to the mapped circle. Then we hypothesize that some protein factor may be involved in this stopping mechanism. What about triggers? Pre-edited mRNAs have short A tail, and edited mRNA, there's long tail. We asked at what step of editing long tail is added. In this experiment, we designed specific probe which can recognize only pre-edited, partially edited, almost edited, 90% edited, but not edited anymore. You can see that long tail is definitely a feature of fully edited mRNA. There are few scenarios possible. Something prevents addition of long tail before editing is complete. Another scenario that something initiates the addition of long tail when editing is completed, or both. We purified 3 complexes just before, because the transcription and polyethylation and editing function coupled. We made a mass spec analysis of polyethylation complex and multi-normal subunits and found that all 3 complexes are populated with PTR proteins, pentatripeptide proteins, RNA binding proteins. Remarkably, that we couldn't find any in physics. What are PTR proteins? They are prominent in plants. They have involved in a lot of steps of mRNA processing. They also in fewer number found in other systems such as yeast or humans. Helix torn, helix repeat organized that way that one repeat can recognize one base of mRNA. In trypanosome PPRs probably the largest family outside of plant organisms. Like I said, we have almost 40 of them. You can see that there is great diversity in length, in repeat number of repeats, that's this red there, and repeat organization. Our strategy was to make a knockdown of each of them and look for general and transcript-specific effects on RNA which we can recognize. For obvious reasons, we started from polyadenylation pathway. What we found was very surprising. We found that long tail had bimoral region. Three prime analysis, sequencing analysis, showed that long tail consists of short A tail extended to AU heteropolymer. Polymerase cannot do this reaction fast, cannot insert use. Then the obvious candidate is a very persistent enzyme, PED1, which we can talk about. And we started looking for proteins which can modulate this biochemical reaction, and we found two PPRs. We call them kinetoplast polyadenylation factors 1 and 2, which co-purify and form stable complex. Knockdown of KPAP1 led to rapid degradation of long tail, elimination of long tail. And short tail product is unaffected. We also were able to reproduce this reaction in the tube. We reconstituted mixed two enzymes, recombinant enzymes, and isolated protein complex KPAP1 and 2. And you can see that two enzymes together actually inhibit each other activities. But the addition of PPR complex led to formation of long tail. We purified by pull down on magnetic beads small ribosomal subunit and large ribosomal subunit, and found that long tail are enriched in small ribosomal subunits and most likely involved in translation initiation. And that's indeed translation is compromised, and that's how we measure translation by metabolic labeling and separation from two different cells. No tail, no translation. Now we can consider that we identify general triggers of polyadenylation uridylation. There appears that to be another mechanism which prevents premature uridylation. But by premature, I mean that uridylation before editing is complete. There is a small PPR protein, knockdown of which led to lengthening pre-edited mRNA. And this lengthening due to addition of new stages of U. While the same effect we see on edited mRNA, we see that edited mRNA effectively uridylates. By PAC biotechnology, which exclude discrimination step for long tails such as cloning, we were able to show that indeed long tails ratio to short tails increased, and tails became more rich. To conclude, we identified deudylation factors. Initial cues came from the mass spectrometry analysis of KPAP3 found. We found in very high confidence polymerase in the complex, and also two enzymes with contracting activity. One is TX2 U-specific hexanuclease, which is MUX, and REF1-TATX. Clip experiment showed that reads are mapped to the very 3' end of mRNA. And you can see here the particular example of cytochrome oxidase 1 mRNA that this mapping extending to the A tail. Extending to the A tail. Well, we identified deuridylation factor which prevents premature uridylation at that step of pre-edited mRNA. exonuclease remove U's which were accidentally added by very processive enzyme RED1 catalase. And now we are going back to the switching stability phenomenon. We identified another factor which we call K-PAP4. And just to remind you, we are looking at knockdown here of polypolymerase, and you can see that short tail is disappeared, but the edited mRNA remains stable, and edited RNA is degraded. With K-PAP4 RNAi, we see it quite opposite. Pre-edited mRNA is degraded with absence of this factor, and as a result, edited RNA downregulated as well. Same effect we can see not only on edited and pre-edited RNA, but on RNA which is never edited. We haven't shown that very few editing events in the 3' end are required for the stability switch to occur. K-PAP4, we think, defines the 3' end by blocking 3' 5' degradation. K-PAP4 might stimulate the addition of ATL, and this factor is supposed to be displaced when RNA entering the editing cascade. Leap analysis of K-PAP4 showed that reads map exactly to the 3' end of mRNA in master surface, and virtually no mapping to the coding region, which now we can say that K-PAP4 definitely can define 3' end of mRNA, and when K-PAP4 displaced, mRNA becomes stable, and ATL is responsible for stability mRNA. And from that point, and that point is start editing process. We thought that maybe K-PAP4 can stimulate adenylation activity of K-PAP1 polymerase, and we found that in recombinant enzyme, with the addition of K-PAP4, activity of polymerase significantly stimulated. As a control in this case, we used RED1 catalase, which is an enzyme with absolutely different activity. And surprisingly, the same factor inhibits processivity of RED1. As a conclusion, we can say that K-PAP4 defines 3' end of mRNA by blocking 3' 5' processor. K-PAP4 ensures that only A-tailed RNAs entering editing cascade and eventually translation. And K-PAP4 stimulates polyethylation activity of polymerase. This speculative model, based on our preliminary and published data, can be used in the future as a foundation for future studies. Multicistronic K-PAP4 binds to multicistronic precursors and defines 3' end of future mRNA by blocking degradation. K-PAP4 then stimulates addition of A-tail, and this substrate is perfect for binding K-PAP3 and recruiting RED2 exonuclease. Such a substrate looks like a very good substrate for editosome. And at the initial stages of editing, K-PAP4 displaced and editing occurred. Usually, editing stops at the 5' end, at the very last site of 5' end. It's supposed to be the signaling pathway between 5' end and 3' end, just to signal that editing is completed. And events on the 3' end are supposed to change after that point. We think that there are some other PPRs could be involved in this recognition, that there are other sequences or transcript-specific PPRs which could, on this step, recognize fully edited RNA. And we have one PPR as a candidate, which I'm not going to talk today. After editing is completed and signaling is occurred, the PPR complex can keep up one to recruited and long tail is dead. It's also possible that keep up 3 either with a displacement stimulates the activity or get one of util formation, or stays there and control the addition of particular number of use in the long tail. With that, I would like to thank my long-time collaborators, Susan Afasizheva, Langham, Jason from the PacBio for the PacBio technology sequencing, Stefan Monti lab in Boston University, very good lab which helped us a lot with bioinformatics, and Catherine Casella for mass spectrometry in Boston University. And thank you for your attention.
That was very friendly as activity I think. So my question is on the stimulation part. Do you think it directly affects the activity of the enzyme, or actually kind of hold down on the substrate and then move on running? Can you separate the two activities, like active activity and the stimulation?
Okay, that's what I can say that KPAP4 is not an enzyme. We are talking about the enzyme which defines pre-RNA. It's not an enzyme. It's a RNA binding protein. It actually binds to RNA and protects somehow from the degradation by the transacting mechanism, which we don't know because we don't know the crystal of this particular PPR. But that's what we think. That's what's
so the question is, the post-sexing, it helps. Is the same activity that it helps also with the formation of the
I really cannot say anything about that because at this point it's all going to be a speculation. Yes, we think that KPAP, we know that recombinant KPAP can stimulate activity of polyethylene. It's possible for KPAP3 as well, when it can not stimulate but control the addition of use and removing use from the long tail. But
so you might say, well, KPAP3 is found, and then in order for right one to be recruited, it has to be displaced.
not really. I don't know if it has to be displaced or keeps to regulate the amount of use which are added to the long tail. Because grade 1 is very precise, but we don't see in the long tail stretch. We always see it's actually much more abundant of A's. And we see stretches of A's than additional few use. Yes.
But you also said, if I understood well, that KPAP3 inhibits REC1 enzyme.
Yes, that's the inhibitor of REC1, premature uridylation.
So it's not happening when
it's not happening when anything is not complete.
So there are two functions of KPAP3 on REC1.
At least.
All right.
KPAP4 binds to the 3' message of all mRNAs.
That means
yes. All the mRNAs are 3' message will share
the one motif we found is a G-rich motif, less G-rich than for KPAP3, for example. It looks like it's enough for precisely recognition of 3' message. but the mechanism we don't know. And there is no actually motif for treatment. There is no particular motif for every mRNA. Not really.
So I guess we like to do all this kind of editing something to do with regulating translation. So first you subscribe to that general idea, and then where do you see the points that are regulated by the cell for whatever reason translation inactive? And then you show this polyethylation editing and then this complex from the 3' end to the 5' end. Regulation after that, or is the regulation in what you described?
Okay, with translation, there is a big problem in Krebs with translation in mitochondria, because this mRNA doesn't have cap, it doesn't have Shandor-Gardner motifs. The only feature which really differs this mRNA from other RNAs, that's the long tail. And long tail is added only to competitive mRNA. It means that somehow small ribosomal subunit may recognize long tail as a feature which brings to the ribosome mRNA which can be translated.
So it's small subunit.
Yes, that's what we show, that it is specifically enriched in small ribosomes. And I can say that the editing complex looks like triacetamide with large numbers. Not.